Bolts on the new eastern span of the Bay Bridge will withstand the stress and the weather. That is according to the final report on bolts that broke months before the span opened. KPIX5's Alan Martin is in our newsroom tonight with the results of the final study on those infamous bolts. Alan?
Well, Ken, you know that most of us know the $6.4 billion bridge came under fire even before it was finished, mostly because of those galvanized steel bolts that broke when they were tightened down. Well, final report on those bolts was delivered to the Bay Bridge Oversight Committee today. In March of last year, a third of the bolts used in the seismic braces cracked when they were tightened. $25 million was spent to replace those. According to engineers, new tests simulating stress and weather exposure showed the bolts will stand up to the conditions, especially if more corrosion protection's added. Committee member Malcolm Doherty says getting the bridge to last 150 years, as it was designed to do, comes down to how well it's maintained.
But the three factors are susceptibility, high stress, and the presence of hydrogen. We don't have high stress. We've tested these, so we don't see a susceptible metal problem. And now what we're working on is keeping the third factor out, even though we don't have the first two factors.
The third factor, hydrogen, water. Engineers saying grout's been used around the bolts to seal out the water, and dehumidifiers were actually turned on in August to help keep the bolts dry in the tower. Now, the committee says it'll wait until November to sign off on the report. That will allow time for people to comment. Ken, back to you.
All right. Bolts are safe, according to what they say.